Zora? I was trying to get all of the recipes I needed up before I started stream, but it didn't work out. So now I have to fiddle with this stupid website while I'm here. The You know, I actually do a lot of preparing for stream. You just can't tell by the chaos that ensues when I'm on camera. There are actually hours and hours of preparation that go into this. Um, you just can't tell. I'm not sure what order we want to do things in. I've given myself like 6 hours though. Hello, Dubby. So I figure even if it is chaos. Hello, Dr. Optimal. Hopefully I'll have enough time. Hello, Tommy. Sure, sure. No. I don't know. Time to start the stream, Tommy. I cannot. I'm trying to get this stupid recipe websites to give me the actual recipe. It's terrible. It's just advertisements and it locks my phone. And that's what I was trying to do was to get all of this stuff open and ready so that it was in the right spot and I wasn't fighting with my phone while I was trying to start stream. But it wasn't going to happen. I don't know. I honestly don't have any idea. What I try to do. Oh no. Oh, now it totally fucked up more. Um, what I tried to do is to go to the recipe website and then find the print button. And then if I can hit the print button, then it takes me to a different tab where it just like it cuts out all of the advertisements and all of the like bullshit chatty stuff for the first like 30 pages of the fucking thing. Um, but while I'm looking for the stupid print button, the website will like hold me up with all the ads and then after a certain amount of time it pops me back up to the top of the page. So I have to go back down again and look more. So like there are 78 pages to this website. Uh, and I got to page 25 and we still were in the top chatty bullshit. And I have to see if I can figure out how many pages down the actual bullshit is. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just trying to get to the recipe. Um, I did make the curry powder yesterday and the tomato sauce. Um, I would say that I'm using Babish's recipe, but I'm kind of not. I had to prep. Um, but because I'm not really following his recipe. I'm using some of, I think I'm using his ingredient list, sort of. Um, yeah. Oh, I might have found where the print button is going to be, possibly. I found the ingredient list, but I don't. I gotta get off of this page before it. Yeah. Ah, Tommy, will you send me a DM so that I'll remember to try to talk to somebody about it? Thank you. Okay, I finally found the print button. This is just for the pita bread. Um, the the Mathara. Yeah, I'm using Safari. The Mathara pita is even worse. Devi, actually, do you or Vela have the ability to hello, to like take the ingredient list and the procedure for that recipe that I posted um and send it to me in a DM by any chance? Because that would simplify my life immensely. We have to figure out an order of events here. Um, Thank you. I really appreciate it. Um, so I have five chicken thighs marinating in some, let's see, it's a cup of yogurt, a heaping tablespoon of curry powder, some salt and pepper, and a couple cloves of garlic, and a thumb of ginger. Okay, so that's currently marinating in the fridge and has been since last night. Um, I roasted the matharapeta. I don't know how to say it. The dessert. Um, if you look at Babish's recipe for tikka masala, his mm, hmm um uh that is the curry powder that I made. So it was like, see if I can remember. It was a stick of cinnamon, a tablespoon of whole cloves, a tablespoon of cardamom, 2 tablespoons of cumin, 3 tablespoons of coriander, 2 bay leaves, a teaspoon of red pepper flakes. That might have been. Oh, and a whole nutmeg. I think that's all. Um, but yeah, that was the curry powder that I used. Let's see. So, if we want to get food done by 7, let's assume that the pita needs to be done cooking at 7 o'clock. The rice will have to cook in the last little bit, so we won't even start that until, like, thank you, Debbie, thank you. Um, we won't even start that until what? 6:30? I think we'll start the rice at 6:30. Um, the curry itself, the chicken, let's start that at 6. We'll have everything prepped, but we won't start cooking it until 6 o'clock. Um, so rice at 6:30, curry at 6. The pita bread we can start cooking at 6:30 because that cooks pretty quickly. It's really only like a minute and a half or so on each side, right? But we'll need to have it all prepped up before that. So if we start it cooking at 6:30, we need to let it be shaped by 6. We need to let it rest for an hour. So 4:30? Gosh, did I start stream too early? Does that make sense? 4:30. Yeah, it's going to be about right. So really, I guess no. Um, I guess what we should do is well no, because I need to figure out when to do all the prepping. This is just the point where I figure out when things need to either start on which part of the process, right? Because the reason I want to start the pita bread at 4:30 is because I'm giving it 30 minutes for me to work the dough, like to put it all together and work the dough and get it setting to rise. And then if it starts rising at 5, rises until 6, and then we put it in the individual pieces and shape the dough. Let's actually push it to 4. Let's do 4 just to make absolute sure, because even if it sits on the counter after being shaped for like 30 minutes and gets a little puffy, it'll still be good. So let's start the pita bread at 4 o'clock. Um, this dessert thing says it takes 30 minutes. We're going to see about that. I really don't know if that's going to be accurate at all. Um, is it supposed to be served? Let's see how it's supposed to be served. Mm-hmm. Oh, fuck, I never found the ghee. Mm. So that doesn't have to be like that can be served at room temp. So we can work on our dessert first. And get that done. I think that's probably our best bet. What do we need to do as far as the curry itself? I think putting together some ginger and garlic. So grating ginger and garlic for the curry powder. Hello, and chopping up an onion. So there was a mistake. I asked for a couple pounds of chicken, um, and I was meaning to do boneless, skinless because that's. But we got bone in, skin on. Um, so I'm thinking about supplementing with some potatoes, potato and chicken curry, because I have some potatoes, you know. But if I just throw those in there, I'm gonna have Ish and Onyx and Damn It Billy and also another friend. I'm not sure um, what to call her. I can't remember. Hello, Peanut. I can't remember what she wanted to be called. I'll have to ask her when she gets here. But she can't eat my food. She's from Montana. Um, and so Onyx is actually cooking her some um some chicken to bring over, and she's gonna have like she's gonna eat with us, but she's not gonna eat our food. It's apparently a kind of milk fudge little dessert thing. Um but she'll be here, and she has a puppy that she's going to be bringing. So we're going to have Abigail and Bailey and Maya and Jinxie and this other puppy named Locke. Indian food today. Um, and Locke is a handful and a half. He's like 6 months old, and he's a Malinois. And he's all mouth. They came over for a little bit yesterday, and Jinxie was sitting there, and she's just got her head down, and she's like, this fucker. She was so mad, and Maya's like avoidant, so she's just kind of side-eyeing him and trying not to look at him too much so that he doesn't come and get her. And he is all over the place. They were really good. I enjoyed them a great deal. Um, and he kept coming over and like just chewing on Jinxie's feet. And Jinxie was getting real mad. And Onyx was like, Jinxie, you behave. You behave. And she just occasionally just raise a lip a little bit like, you fuck. Um, and he kept doing it. And so she did bite his nose. She got him pretty good last night. Um, he wouldn't fucking stop. But he was putting her whole paw in his mouth. He was just chewing on it. Like it was bad. I was impressed with her patience, if I'm being honest. Because she was very, very calm for a very long time before she finally just like left a couple of indents in his nose. So we're gonna have lots of dogs and lots of people today, is what I'm saying. I have 5 chicken breasts. And technically there are 4 people, but the thing is, if I can have some leftover food for next week, that's super good for me. So I'm gonna supplement the curry with some potatoes. That was where that all started. Jiggly, how are you today? Yeah, basically, yeah. Um, so let's see how many potatoes we should use. I've got I've got several. I think maybe I don't need much. I feel like the 5 I have here would be too many, but maybe 3? Oh, I'm torn. I'm torn. I mean, I could just use all 5. I am doing pretty decent. I've had no. It's been so busy. It's been so busy. I've had no time to really even stop and think. Like when I have been able to stop, I have nodded off. So tikka masala is kind of a British thing more than it really is an Indian food. It's sort of like it's like Indian food adopted by the British, and one of the theories is that it sort of was inspired by butter chicken. It's not butter chicken. It's its own thing. Um, well, kind of. I think specifically what they said is it was Indian food sort of adapted but isn't it like UK's national food or something? Like it's a big, big thing. Yeah, exactly. Tommy's got it. Not American. No, Britishized. Probably Jiggly. I believe so. They made it saucier for the Brits, basically. Yeah. It was colonialized, I guess. Um, so we will. I think what we'll do is we'll start prepping some of the stuff for the curry just so it is done. Um, I'll get the potatoes ready. We'll get the onion ready. We'll get the ginger and garlic ready. and then we'll swap over and start working on um, the Matharapeda, as long as at 4 o'clock I swap my attention over and start the pita. I did it. All right. So, let's. Oh, I forgot to get this thing. Um, yeah. uh, good. It was a lot of it's a lot of dumb little things that slow me down, Jiggly. Like, okay, for instance, um, I spent hours and hours and hours just trying to figure out how to deal with my email, right? Because the way that it works is I was trying to get Jaws to work with Outlook for my work emails. Um, and I could not for the life of me get it to work, but somebody had said it was accessible, so I kept banging my head against it. Finally, I called my tech lady, and she was like, "Are you using the app?" And I was like, "No, I'm using Firefox." And she was like, "Oh no, it's completely inaccessible." Do you? She's like, "It's completely inaccessible through the website. You have to use the app. That's the only way it works." And I was like, "Okay." So then I got the app, and I'm trying to get that to work, and I still can't get it to work. And I call her back the next day, right? Like this stretched over days. I call her back the next day, and I'm like, I still can't get it to work. She calls somebody else, and they've got like this three-way speakerphone conversation going on, trying to figure out why I can't get to my emails. Um, and it came to be that the app that I had to open was an unlicensed product, so I needed a product key. And so then I had to go get somebody else to come down and call a different tech guy and have that tech guy give us a product key, and then I was finally able to check my emails. But it's fucking dumb. So there's just hours and hours and hours of trying to check emails. Craft cam. Yeah. Yeah, it was a bit annoying. Yeah, it it's interesting. It's interesting. But, we did eventually get things done, and then that is what matters. So, um, I've been doing these like training modules. They were funny because I one of the training modules I had to do, what is it called? It's a trauma informed care learning module type of deal. And most of it I could do just fine as far as being blind. Um, yeah, yeah. Um, but there was a point where they were like talking about emotional intelligence, and so they wanted you to match, like drop and drag the uh the name of the emotion with the face, the picture of somebody making that face. And so of course I had to call a sighted person to come and help me with that part. And Tate came down, and Tate tried it, and then he got it wrong. And so then he called Jerry in, and Tate and Jerry tried it together, and they failed again. And then Jerry tried it on his own, and they failed again. And I was like, you guys have terrible emotional intelligence. um, so that was highly amusing. I do have to dress up for Halloween this year. That's a thing. So I got to figure out a costume. I mean, they did. They did. But when they started. So it's been a minute. Um, and I am going to make some food and take it up there. You get used to it. I mean, you learn your own way of handling it. Um, I think it's probably harder if you're trying to do it like a sighted person. If you, but you know, you get cut once real good and then you learn. Um, they're having a Halloween party, and that's why I have to dress up. And then we're gonna take some sort of a um, spooky dish. So there's a website where they have all these recipes, and I got to take a look at the recipes on that website and find out if there's anything on there I would even be willing to cook. But I think they're going zombie themed for the foods or something. I'm not sure. Um, let's see. I really enjoy my coworkers a great deal. Um, that's been really nice. They're they're good people. Um, just generally zombies, I think is the idea. I'm considering trying to put a costume together. Um, are they? They're a little bit older, but they shouldn't be so old. Hello. They're I mean they're a little bit older. They should be okay. I'm doing pretty well. It could be. Yeah, it could be. It's hard to say. Um, here. Tastes like potato. Mm, so let's see. What else? I don't know. That's mostly my week. I'm just tired. I'm just super, super tired. Um, my brain's only partially working currently. Yeah, it has. A lion? Um, I don't know, honestly, Dr. Optimal. I don't even know. I'm just sort of learning as I go. And they're oh, I did it. Yeah, I did. Um, I definitely did. I have to, yeah, I have to be there at um 8 a.m. on Fridays. That's my earliest days. Um, most days I don't like I'm there at 10 o'clock in the morning, 3 days of the week, 8 o'clock one day of the week, and then noon another day of the week. Um, but not yet. The snow has not started falling yet. Um, but the way that the bus works here, um, let's say I need to be at work at 8 o'clock. Um, Dewey, if I have to be at work at 8 o'clock, then the bus is scheduled to come and pick me up somewhere between 7:15 and 7:45. Um, I require a minimum, a minimum of an hour and 15 minutes to try to get up, have a little bit of coffee, get dressed, and be going. Um, so it ends up being fairly early just because of my style of transportation and all that, Jess. It is, they call it a paratransit. Okay, so it's sort of like a city bus, except for people with disabilities in the community. Um, so yeah, no, yeah. So it's whereas the regular city buses cost less, so they'll be, a dollar 50, something like that. Um, the paratransit is more expensive, but you can schedule it, and it takes you from your from one place directly to another place. So they will pick me up at my house. Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Um, they'll pick you up at your house and drop you off at your location. Um, so $3.50 for a direct transportation there is really good. It's just really, yeah, a little bit more like a taxi, except a taxi you share with other random people, and a taxi that has a 30-minute window to pick you up in. Um, there are ups and downs to the system, you know. Um, I am grateful for it because it gets me where I need to go. It's also a frustrating thing to have to do. We do have Uber. Um, Probably. Thank you, Saucy. I appreciate it. I hope you do well as well, and I will talk to you again sometime soon, hopefully. Um, they might, Daddy. I'm not sure because for the first couple of months, the vocational rehab. Okay, I look forward to it. Vocational rehab is covering my transportation for the first couple of months until I can get a little bit of money put aside for it. Um, gotcha. It's true. It's very true. But like, okay, so if I were to take an Uber instead of the paratransit, that would cost me somewhere between 15 and $18 before tip one way, right? So you're looking at 30 to $40 a day to use Uber, whereas you're looking at what? Uh, $7 a day to use the paratransit. So it's all about what you're willing to pay for what amount of convenience. I am I do currently, yes. So I'm putting these potatoes in some salt water and we're just going to let them soak. Is it? Like I said, it's a good price. Yeah. I mean, if you can afford the convenience, then that's great. This is sort of the thing, right? It really depends on how much you're willing to pay for what amount of convenience. It's really all it is. I get They're not willing to pay for that kind of. They're willing to pay for the paratransit. That is all. Um, Again, I'm grateful that there are any options. Uh, to a degree, do they? I did have flashbacks to being on the short bus as a kid, though. I really did. I was like, oh my god. Yeah, yeah. You have to have a disability. I mean, that's its purpose. Its purpose is specific to that. That's so interesting. Um, they just switched the bus systems here from they had they had it to where you had to flag the bus down. They didn't have any set stops. Um, Last weekend they changed the system so that they actually have set stops, and they changed all their routes and everything. And so, from what I understand, right now, um, oh, okay, the buses here, because they just changed it last week, are kind of chaotic. Like from what I'm understanding, it's a bit of a mess right now while they're trying to switch over to the new system. Um, so I wouldn't want to be on the main city buses right now because they're going to be a bit of a mess probably for the next couple of months. Mm, I did do a lot better when I started just eating a couple of eggs in the morning. Yeah. Here, they weren't even consistent in that way. Some routes were every hour, some routes were every 30 minutes. They were not, it was a mess. um, they did hire another person for my department last week. So I will have somebody working um, in the same department as me and Jerry. Not this week coming up, but the week after that. I won't be the only fish in the room. Mhm. Yeah. Well, apparently they're no. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Um, yeah, they apparently are supposed to have three people in that department, at least three people, and they were down to one, and he was so overwhelmed. Um, and they finally have gotten somebody in to start doing some hiring. Um, from what I understand, uh, Tate just got switched over to basically getting the hiring done, and he has been on it as far as trying to get positions filled because it seems like they have quite a few. You got to remember, I didn't even get hired for the job I applied for, right? Because the job I applied for was working in the schools. So they're hiring people for the department that I'm in as well as ones to be in the schools. So there's actually quite a few new people at the moment. Um, day 3, I think it was, that I worked there. Um, there was a bit of a hullabaloo. Um, I don't know, Dove. I know that Belle has been there for 8 years. Um, this job has a very high turnover rate, and the story I'm going to tell you will explain why. um, so where I work, I'm in the office area, all right? But there is a drop-in center. Hello, Skinky Biz. Yes. Um, she's the one who made the blind joke. She is no, well, I'm not sure actually, Tommy, but she is. She's very passionate. Um, I really like her a great deal. She's the head honcho. She's the boss of bosses. Um, but okay, so I work in the office area. Right next to the office area, there's a drop-in center. Any youth in the community up to the age of 25 can walk into that area, um, and they can receive food, they can do their laundry, they can take a shower, they can hang out as long as they are behaving. We've got pool tables and TVs and all sorts of things for them to come in and sit comfortably and socialize and do together. They offer like some skills training. There are several women that work in that area, and they try to develop personal relationships with these young people, do like teach them how to do a little bit of cooking. They do all sorts of stuff, okay? Um, it is a low barrier facility, which means that they are allowed to come in um, drunk or on drugs as long as they do not pose a threat to themselves or anyone else um, at the facility. But we're working specifically with teenagers um, who have uh I don't know. That's not really my position. My job is working in a different department. This is all in the drop-in center. Okay? It's just pertinent to the story. How this thing is laid out. All right? So you've got this drop-in center where you have a lot of teenagers, and a lot of them are runaways, a lot of them, are homeless. Um, so it's over there. All right. Kinda, yeah. That's sort of what they're trying to provide, Tommy. That is kind of what they're trying to provide, a safe space um, where you can get clean and you can be fed and you can have some support, right? Um, okay. So Gail, we're gonna call her Gail. One of the ladies that works in the drop-in center is named Gail, and she was finding plates like, what about signs of addiction? We have addicts for sure. We're gonna have addicts in there. That's if they want help, we will help try to provide them with care for that. But there will definitely be addicts. Um, all right. So Gail had noticed that um, there were these full plates of food that had been thrown in the trash. And so she brought it up with the kids. She's like, guys, look, you don't, please don't waste the food. We've been running out of food every day this week. And we want to be able to give it out to everybody. And these plates have like multiple scoops of food and then they're just thrown away. So if you're not sure if you're going to like something, take a small scoop, try it. If you don't like it, that's okay. You don't have to eat it. But please don't just get plates and plates of food and throw them away. And one of the other kids says, yeah, Scott, you know, that means you. Um, I don't understand, Skeefus. I'm sorry. I'm not following you. And Scott got upset and was like, I'm gonna go cry over here in the corner. He got upset and walked off. I don't know what happened between that and other stuff, but he ended up outside and he was getting himself worked up. Right. He was getting himself worked up and he was coming back in the building. Tate ran into him and he says, hey man, what's up? And Tate's like, I need to get in there. I'm going to kick somebody's ass. And he was like, nah, how about if we just don't go in the building right now? We're just going to stay outside. And so he wouldn't let him in. And then he let, yeah. I need another name. Hold on. Jack. He'll be Jack. So he contacts Jack because Jack has got a rapport with Scott, right? And Jack comes outside to talk to him. In the process of letting the kid vent, Scott says that the person he wants to beat is Gail. And Jack calms him down, and he's like, no, this and that, yada yada. He gets the situation settled. Scott is not allowed in the building for the rest of the day. He needs to calm down. He can talk about coming in again later. Somewhere between there, and I don't know where, a police officer came up to the building, not related to Scott, okay? Something completely unrelated, but ends up seeing Scott highly agitated, and goes over and gets involved. Scott gets upset. He's like, did you call the fucking cops on me? So now he's really worked up. And then something else happened where another young person got hit with a baseball bat. I don't know how we got from one to the other, but at some point, a young person hit another young person with a baseball bat. It's on camera. Belle has to get involved. The cop gets involved. Now this kid is in trouble there. So we've got a whole big hullabaloo. I was not. I was in my office and oblivious to everything. And then at the like meeting, right? All of these different little bits and pieces of the story are coming forward. Somebody got hit with a bat. Somebody got involved with the cops. Somebody was being threatened. And then another young lady wants to put in a police report because apparently Scott had sent her a picture holding a gun. So now we know that Scott at least has access to a gun somewhere, and then he's volatile. And so then Bella's like, okay, guys, if you see Scott, I need to talk to him. I do not want you guys to approach him. I need to go and get this. So she did. She ended up going and she talked to him the next day, and they got things worked out, and he was allowed back in the building, and everything was calm and fine. But that kind of situation, like we were talking about this stuff in the meeting, And Belle was like, look, she said, I'm really strict on things like do not leave scissors out on your desk. She said, I have had young people. She said one young lady specifically picked up a pair of scissors and tried to stab herself with it. Um, she has had another young man pull a knife out in her office, and threaten to harm himself that way. So this is a super, super high stress, um, thankless job. God, my eyes. I'm sorry. Um, and that's why they have a very high turnover rate. So, oh God. All right. I can't help it, Jiggly. I held it off for so long. Yeah. Yeah. Well, he sent that picture to another young person, not to one of the staff. Um, and again, you're looking at I don't even know that he was trying to be threatening when he sent that other. I don't know anything about the story of that young lady and him in the picture. Um, but yeah, it's a lot. I'm gonna get the pestle and mortar, and we're gonna do some garlic ginger paste. I'm gonna grate it first. I think they have a metal detector for the drop-in center. I don't think they have one on the side that I work on. Um, but I think they have one in the drop-in center. And the kids are more likely to get rowdy in the drop-in center, because there's going to be more of them. They're going to feed off of each other. They're going to consider that their sort of social hangout space. The office side is, it's got a different feel to it, right? The kids are going to behave differently on my side of the building than they will on that side of the building. Yeah, a bit. And you're gonna have your outliers, right? Like you're gonna have one or two um who go too far. But in general, they're just kids. Well, he did, but the question, Tommy, is did he really? Or is that the language he knows? You know? Um, I don't know. And see, they know these kids. They work with these kids constantly, and a lot of the same children show up over and over again. So they get a pretty good feel of them. Um, and I don't actually know if it was anything that was any kind of legitimate threat. They weren't acting like it was, if that makes sense. Yeah. Um, I get the impression that that's kind of just the language most of these young people know. Okay, let's find out how much. 2 inches of ginger, 2 cloves of garlic. Okay. It's a really big piece of garlic, but we're gonna go for it anyways. Um, so yeah, that's kind of how all that went. It was a lot. The people are great though. Like I said, they're really really decent human beings. Very supportive. Uh, I am just trying real hard to get my feet under me at this point, because there's a whole lot to learn. Um, and I feel like I'm learning it very slowly. And a lot of it, like there's a certain amount of procedure that's required, but it also seems like a whole lot of what we're doing is super individually based. And they talk a lot about working in the gray. I mean, I hadn't really thought about it, but that is an interesting. I don't know, Tommy. I don't know how they would feel about that. Um, I would be hesitant to do that just because it might be considered, if those services are specifically for a particular vulnerable population and I'm asking to use them, I don't know how well that would be looked upon. So I would be pretty hesitant to even ask. Um, Maybe if I watch, with enough time, and whatnot, but at this point, I wouldn't ask. Um, I imagine that if I did, yeah, if I did ask, I am very sure they would let me, right? But I don't know what kind of an impression it would leave. So that's kind of where that is. I still have not met very many of our young people. I have sat in on a couple of meetings. Yeah, just I'm sure they would let you, but I just don't know. Well, and I'm gonna sound like an asshole here, but I don't know. Not that the public ones are better, but teenagers are not exactly known for taking good care of things, and um, I don't know how clean and functional the equipment that they've been using is just trying to trying to clean up behind these particular kids is probably very, very time consuming. Um, Teenagers in general uh, tend to be very entitled and self-absorbed. Um, it's just part of where they're at. Um, and a lot of these particular kids definitely have the fuck the world mentality at this particular point in their life for understandable reasons. Um, you really just kind of have to go into it expecting um, very little as far as their consideration or maturity, um, or any of that. Um, and I'm sure there are many that are, but uh, yeah, I don't expect that most of them are able to even acknowledge a lot in the way of gratitude or respect at this particular points in their lives. Which is kind of why you have to provide consistent compassion yourself in order to prove that you're worth that to them. Or at least those are the assumptions I walk into the room with. Um, I could be wrong, but is that what you thought? You'd almost think Tommy was being a smartass. Tommy, you wouldn't be a smartass, would you? It doesn't sound like you. How are you today, Wolf? Okay. Damn it. I'm gonna have to actually get some weight behind me. There we go. They had made nachos yesterday in the kitchen. So they don't have a stove or anything like that. They use hot plates, microwaves, and instant pots and slow cookers um, for insurance purposes. uh, and they made nachos uh, yesterday. And what did I name him? I named him Jack. Jack came up and he was like, "Hey, there's extra food if you would like any." And I had heard them talking about which cans of cheese to use. And I was like, "No, thank you. It's okay." And I was like, how do I be? I was like, I was raised by a Latino, and my version of Mexican food is definitely much spicier than anything in Montana. It's like maybe that's a way I can get out of that. Costco apparently um, every week donates a very large amount of like any of their baked goods and whatnot that are on their last day of usage. Apparently they every Friday donate a bunch of it to the place that I work, which I thought was pretty cool. I also can't eat that, but because they were like, we have to get rid of all of this today. If the kids don't take it all, then staff needs to take some. And I was like, thank you. I should be okay. I'm pretty sure I would die if I ate that. But I hate these situations where I meet new people and food like this comes up because I feel like such a fucking Karen. You know, just like this snotty nosed. Like, no, I can't eat that. Sorry, I'm not putting that in my body. Like, I will die though. I will. But people always seem to think that because I can't eat it, that I'm judging them, and so it creates this whole weirdness. And I'm not. I'm not judging anyone else, but I also would die. Okay. So I'm going to take the ginger and garlic. I'm going to sprinkle some salt in there. And then I'm going to smack it a bunch of times. Um, and I think at that point, we have everything prepped for the curry. Because we'll have um, our garlic and ginger paste, our onions chopped. And the potatoes. I am gonna leave. I took the skins off of the chicken thighs and marinated them on the bone, and I'm gonna just let that um, cook on the bone. Hello, Hank. Um, and then I'll debone it at the end. be fair, they picked a fight with me on these topics. All right, I was not judgmental, and then they kept poking. And turned it into a thing. They were sitting there poking my defiant bone until I responded. All right, so ginger garlic is done. The thing that people, here's the deal. I can't judge it. I couldn't judge it because I did it. Um, and it's not a matter of judgment. It's a matter of, at the time that I was making those particular decisions, I had no concept of how much those decisions were hurting me. Um, I really didn't know. And when I see other people making similar decisions for similar reasons, I cannot help but think there may come a day where they will wish they had done something different because they too end up hurt by those choices. It is everyone's choice to make those choices, right? But it honest to God hurts me to imagine the the possible pain that I see as a repercussion to certain choices, and that's really what it is. It's not judgment. It's a belief. It's it's a belief that it's harmful, you know? It's an honest to God belief that those things are harmful. And what I judge is not the individual who eats those particular foods. Main cam, I judge a system where a lot of people have no choice but to eat those foods. Um, and the fact that companies make these things that hurt people and make a profit. Is it a hole? I was trying to be genuine. Damn. Oh well. I was trying to actually thoughtfully respond to the thing, Tommy. All right, so now that those things are prepped, I will move on to the mathrapeta. Let's see how well that goes. I do need to figure out what the heck to do regarding this ghee situation because, huh? I missed that, sweetie. Sorry. Um, I know I bought ghee and I don't understand where it went. I cannot for the life of me find any in the house. So I may have to dig to see if I can locate the ghee one more time. Um, Good morning. What? How are you today, Izzy? I didn't know if we would see you today. Um, does anybody know anything about making ghee? If it comes to that. Yeah, I only need a couple of tablespoons of it. I have a bunch of butter, so theoretically, if we absolutely cannot find any ghee in the house, I could possibly make some if anybody knew how to make it. Okay, so let's dig through cabinets and try to find ghee. Um, Hold on. There was madness and chaos that just happened, and I cannot translate. Mm, yeah. Uh, I don't know what you mean. So can you give us about how it goes for me? Um, how would I go about it? Wolf, could you give me a description of how to do it? Clean off this table real quick. I live in a place where there are not going to be any trick-or-treaters. Um, so. Oh, okay. Do you? Yeah. No, I live in a spot where kids are not going to go. I'm kind of tucked away and hidden. Uh, I can't even always get the mailman to realize I exist here, so. All right. Let's dig. Well, it's the USP USPS. Is that right? No, which one is it? It's UPS. UPS is convinced I don't exist. Oh, not USPS. They know I exist. Wolf, I found it. I found it. Okay. Never mind on the ghee. Yes, UPS. No, UPS literally told Amazon that I really did not exist. Oh, good, good. Okay, thanks. How are you today, Miss Bella? I was diagnosed when I was 5. 2:30. Pretty decent. Um, One sec, I gotta look at this. Let's figure out what our next step here is. All right, so what all we need here is milk powder, milk, half a cup of powdered sugar. So powdered sugar is, are you powdered sugar? You might be. Let's look. Okay, that's powdered sugar. So I've got milk, powder, powdered sugar, cardamom. Oh, I have to, shoot. I've got to grind cardamom. Uh, I need the pestle and mortar for that. So we're going to swap the ginger and garlic out of the pestle and mortar and wash it so that we can uh, grind some cardamom pods. Ah! Oh, okay. Since we have both Wolf and Jiggly here, can we talk about the watch party real quick? Because that was going to be tomorrow, if you guys are still up for it. Yeah. Um, does tomorrow work for you, Wolf, to do some more Good Omens? Okay. I don't have a time set yet, Jiggly. I wanted to wait until both you and Wolf were here so we could discuss it. And Debbie and Bella. Nova is the other one who's usually there. But we can talk to Nova whenever we see him. I imagine he's probably at the event today. Does anybody know how many cardamom pods are equivalent to half a teaspoon of cardamom? think it's something like 6. I'm gonna try 6. Oh, really? Okay. 6 to a whole. Interesting. You usually go to bed around 7:30 or 8 my time. Okay. Um, Debbie and Vela, how are your schedules looking? Because you will you have food to be making and whatnot? Okay. So with what Jiggly's got going on, what time works for everybody else? Let's try ideally to be done by the time Jiggly needs to go to bed. If we watch a few episodes, but we want to work around. What time do you guys usually need to cook dinner, Debbie? Because we can go earlier in the day as long as everybody's awake earlier in the day. I don't want to go too early in the day. Um, do you have a way to at least be able to listen to the show while you cook, Debbie? Okay. Okay. Um, how would meeting around 2 p.m. work? If we it's yeah, but we'd like to be able to have you, Jiggly. Um, if we started at like 2 p.m., um, then we'd still have a little bit of time to visit before we started it. One sec. Mute me. Okay, sorry guys. Um, hi Jess. Okay, so if we started at 2 p.m. tomorrow, we'd have a bit of time to visit, and then we could still get 3 or 4 episodes in before we needed to call it. Does that sound reasonable to you guys? And I still get to sleep a little late. Okay, Dubby. As long as it's not too inconvenient. Would that work for you, Wolf? Okay, I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for being willing to hash it out with me. That you do. How has life been, Jess? I'm not very good at cardamom pods. I never have been because their shells are just such a pain in the ass. Yeah. All right, I threw a couple of extra cardamom pods in here because I knew that what I was going to do is smash them and then end up giving up partway through and pulling out bits of the shell. Um, yes. Yes, there are. There are cumin seeds and coriander seeds. And they call them pods, but really they're seeds. Cardamom seeds. Okay, so let's see. We have ghee. What we're gonna have to do is um, cook milk powder with or in ghee. We're gonna have to brown it. So this will be fun. Um, we'll see how it goes. I've got the cardamom ready. Here's the ghee, the powdered sugar, it's the milk powder. And then we'll do the sugar and pistachio. I don't have rose leaves, so we're not doing rose leaves. Ghee. Milk we'll deal with. Really quickie fast, I'm sorry. Let me run to the restroom. I'll let you guys play with TTS, and I will be right back, and then we'll start the Matharapeda, which I'm probably saying wrong. Mute me.
TTS is live.
Jiggy Frugo Dove. Jurassic Park. Why did I think she was going to say she was going to run to the store? Lol. Tommy T. Turner, her phone is on the side. She probably wouldn't get far. Jurassic Park just for you, Jiggly. I'm picturing the tongue emote with the duck.
Voice mic is live.
Mute TTS. Well, I'd have to go that way, too. If I went that way, I can't get out. The front door's that way. um, all right. So let's see. We're going to 2 tablespoons, 1 cup, 1/3 cup, 1/2 cup. So 1/3 cup and 1/2 cup. We're supposed to slice some pistachios, which just sounds like a pain in the ass. Where did I put you? Where did I put you? I have pistachios. Well, where did I put the pistachios? If you know the command for that, I will 100% use it. Do you know the shortcut key? What do I do with the pistachios? There's the rice. And if I were pistachios, where would I be? Because I really, really thought... You bet Chef knows it. Chef isn't here, though. Here they are. On low flame. Low flame, huh? Let's call that low flame. Gotcha. Okay. I'm going to assume that sliced pistachios means pistachios cut in half. I do too. They just entered my house last night, which is why I still have them. Yes. All right, so we can assume that we will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 16 of these, theoretically. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. All right, so half a pistachio for each one of them is about that many. Now, we need ghee. Okay. And just a tiny bit more. There you go. So basically, we're just browning milk powder in ghee. And then we're adding some milk. And then we're putting it in a different bowl, adding confectioner's sugar and cardamom. And then shaping it into discs. Now, visual question. Are you guys up for helping me figure out how to shape these properly? My understanding is that I'm just going to use this round teaspoon, make a ball, and then flatten it into sort of a disc and indent slightly in the center to put the pistachio on there. That's kind of the only bit of it I understand. So from there, I would need visual guidance. Thank you, Tommy. Now, I'm pretty good at making duck shapes, actually. When you say, Debbie. Who knows? Oh, I was just talking about how I'm very good at making duck shapes out of things. All right, so we just want this to have sort of a caramelized flavor, I think, is what we're kind of looking for here. I may need to borrow. It is. It is interesting. We'll see if it's good. I'm gonna need to brown this. So but I also have to make sure it doesn't burn. Protect your Googles. Hey Google, set a timer for 13 minutes. All right, so um, we want this to turn a golden brown. All it is ghee and milk powder. Oh, good, thank you. They say 12 to 16 minutes, and you just want an even golden coloring. Milk powder is so sticky. So very sticky. Let's grab the milk out. I did not find out that our other guest is going to be joining us until I think yesterday. Otherwise, I probably would have picked somewhat less exotic food so that she would be able to join and enjoy at least some of it. I don't think she might be able to have some pita bread out of what I'm making today. Um, I don't think she's gonna be too keen on anything I'm doing here. She is not very um, adventurous with her food. I will ask how she feels about that when she gets here. Um, I doubt she will want to be seen. There's gonna be enough people here. We have Ish, Onyx, Damn It Billy, and another guest. Welcome back. And I can't remember what she goes by. So when she gets here, I'll have to ask her what to refer to her as. Um, she's also bringing her puppy. So Bella, when I went to the lake, yeah, when I went to the lake, um, there was a little bitty puppy that was there camping with us. That puppy and his owner are the ones that are joining today. His name is Locke. Yes. Yes. Loch Ness, or Loch Ness Monster is is that pup. And yes, he will be here. I got to see him last night for a little bit, and Jinxie and Maya were here with him. And Maya got up on the couch behind me, and she was trying to hide from him. and she was just side-eye him. Like she wouldn't look directly at him. She just kind of side-eye him every once in a while. He's 3 times the size he was, basically. Um, and so she just kept side-eyeing him, and Jinxie's sitting beside me, and she's kind of hunched over, and she's looking at him, and she wants to tear his face off so badly, just so badly. It's killing her. And Onyx kept telling her, she's like, "You be good, Jinxie. You be good. You be nice." And Jinxie's trying so hard to not lose her shit on this puppy. And he keeps coming over and getting in her face and like trying to eat her paws and pulling on her ears. And she was just like, every once in a while, her little lip would just barely raise, like, "Oh, I'm gonna kill it." Um, and finally, she did get on him. She snapped and she got him on the bridge of the nose. She apparently left a couple little indents there. She was not fucking having it anymore. And then she went and hid under the dining table because she was like, "Damn it." And she thought she was going to get in trouble. And I was like, "Jinxie, you're not in trouble. The child was acting up. You just told him no. It's really okay." So we're going to have 3, 6 dogs in the house today. The dogs outnumber the humans today. Yeah, yeah. There was an event. So Ish was doing an event, and Locke's owner um, is joining for that event because she sells a few things as well. Um, and Onyx is helping um, Ish at the event. I doubt Damn It Billy is. I think Damn It Billy's family might be in town, so he's probably doing something with them. But it will be interesting to see how all of the dogs end up responding to Locke. Uh, because he's still very puppy. And no Skip today. Skip is not in the state today. He is off helping family with cattle. Which is why we're making curry, Jiggly, because Skip does not like Indian food. And Ish loves Indian food. And so I wanted to make something more Ish specific today. Because I can't, a lot of the stuff that I would make for one of them, I can't make with the other one here, because their preferences are just so drastically different. So this was this was an Ish based meal. I hope she likes it. Um, let's see. What else do I have? I did see Monday was just work and then get home and get ready for stream and then Tuesday was the same. And then Wednesday was work and then I got home. Well, Wednesday was the day that I work later, so I work until 5 on Wednesdays. Um, and then I got home and planned stream on Wednesday for today. Got, groceries ordered and all that mayhem. Um, and then Thursday, God, what the hell happened Thursday? I don't remember. I can't remember Thursday. I feel like something happened, but I don't know what. Something. Um, Yesterday was early morning, so I got off at 1 p.m. Um and then I went to do the laundry and the maintenance guy showed up. So I got a new bathroom faucet and then I did some prep work for stream today. Yeah, it's been busy. Um and then today we've got stream and I've got all the people coming over later. And then tomorrow we've got the watch party. And Monday I have to do like I was gonna bake up some zucchini bread muffins because I still have half of that giant zucchini left that I need to use, and I grated it to make muffins with, and I figure I'll just take those up to work and hand them out to anybody who wants them, and then eat them throughout the week. Um, I don't have work Monday. It's a holiday, so apparently we have the day off on Monday, which is excellent. And we can just keep working on our patchwork project. Yes. Um, Ooh, we should decide what we're gonna play next because I think we're gonna finish. I think we're gonna finish. Um, Fucking words. The Plague's Tale on Tuesday, and we'll probably have enough time to do something else. Okay, Google, stop. All right, so anywhere from now to 3 minutes from now, this should be done. Do we see anything as far as any kind of color change up to this point? Um, it's good, Jiggly. It's okay. It's slightly yellowish. Okay. It's an um it's an interesting game. Uh I don't feel like I mean, I just feel like I'm hanging out and watching Chef play a game, you know? It's definitely not our usual game format. Um I think it's an interesting game. I think it's not necessarily one I can personally interact with. I can watch it and I can enjoy it as a story, but it's not something I really interact with at all, if that makes sense. Uh, Let me double check the next. 2 to 3 minutes after we add the milk. Okay, that's what I needed to check on. So normally when I do curry, um, I use coconut milk because that's more traditional with Indian curries. However, because this was tikka masala specifically, and it's more British. Oh, you're fine, Izzy. It's no worries at all. I am doing pretty well, all in all. How about yourself? I'm tired. It's been a very long week, but I'm good. Um, Babish used heavy